Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to Washington Hebrew Congregation. I'm the same person I was 2 minutes ago when you saw me in the lobby, but Rabbi Sue Shankman, joined by Rabbi Eliana Fischel and Cantor Susan Bortnick and Cantor Suzanne Hamstra. And we are so thrilled to be here this evening. You're going to meet everyone who's up on the bima momentarily, but we want to start by just saying simply welcome. We're so thrilled to be all together, to be able to join as a community in recognizing, and tonight we truly will not just recognize by seeing each other, but by hearing each other's voices joined in prayer and song, the importance of every voice being lifted up in the community. And we do that for one another, and certainly in this evening, we hope that you feel that sense of uplift. We know that you will, from the music you're going to hear, and the way we're going to join together in prayer, and the way we're going to be inspired. And I want to begin by recognizing those who are joining us from the community, and hoping I'm going to do my best there. We'll get you, if you're not on my list initially, we'll make sure that we recognize you as well. But we have a number of clergy who are here, and I realize I'm standing. We usually sit for this service, but I think because I have this wobbly music stand, I was worried about it falling over.
Sorry, we didn't need to give you the wobbly one.
I think I'm okay. And now it's worse. And I'm a kid, I'm not a kid now, but I was a kid who grew up with Weebles, for those of you who remember Weebles. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So I want to recognize our partners in the community, our faith partners who are here this evening. And if you'll just raise your hand if you are here. Pastor Chris Zacharias of John Wesley AME Zion Church, I know you are here. Thank you for being here. Reverend Sam Nixon of Alfred Street Baptist Church, I know he is coming if he's not here yet. Dr. Segun Adebayo, who's pastor of Macedonia Baptist Church and is part of the Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition. And Yoemel Gonzalez Hernandez from St. Albans Church. Reverend Yoemel, I thought I saw earlier. I'm doing well. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Pastor Zacharias. I know Pastor Jim Eaton is here. I'm assuming Natalie's here with him from Multi-Faith Neighbors Network. And as well, Dr. B.J. Douglas, Senior Project Officer of the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you for being here. Laura Wallace, from the Maryland Organizing Director in Montgomery County, Director of JUFJ, Jews United for Justice. Maybe they're on their way because she's with someone else who was mentioned. As well, I know we have the Tacoma Park Presbyterian Church has joined us. And I also know we have with us former DC Councilwoman Carol Schwartz, who is here, a member of our congregation, but we're always happy when you're here, Carol. And then we have as well Reverend Dr. Evelina Huggins of Scotland AME Zion Church, with whom we're partnering over the weekend. And we have a number of community sponsors. The Religious Action Center of Reformed Judaism, Gather DC, Mosaic Visions, the Jewish Community Foundation, the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington, the Edlovich DC JCC, Addis Israel Congregation, Adat Shalom, Farbrengen, Temple Sinai, Bet Mishpacha, Jews United for Justice, Tiferet Israel, Rodef Shalom, and I think I saw Rabbi Alexandra Stein here. Thank you for being here. And I also know that we have partners from B'nai Israel Congregation who are here as part of our partners in Sea Change. And if we omitted a clergy person or group, you can just raise your hand and let us know who you are. We have another clergy person. We're not. Oh, thank you, Rabbi Axelrod. Thank you for being here as well. And I wasn't expecting you to be here, and welcome, and Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Silverman. Are you still in Detroit? Oh, wonderful. So later you can talk to Rabbi Ariana Silverman about the wonderful work that she's doing in Detroit. See, I talk long enough, I get a new music stand. We know how to stall in strategic ways. And I also want to introduce the two gentlemen directly to my left, our dear friends, our duo, Lapidus and Miles. The single greatest power of music is the power to unite. Music brought Rabbi Michael Lapidus and Baptist gospel singer Melvin Miles together. Using their music, they hope to return the favor and bring people together. Lapidus and Miles share a city. They share a commitment to their respective faith traditions. They share many of the same values, and they are of a similar age. But even with all these things in common, it took music to bring them together. As they share their story and music with us tonight, as they enhance our Juneteenth worship experience, their hope is to inspire us. They want us to feel like we are listening to music that is honest, direct, thoughtful, and uplifting. They want us to join our voices together to unite as a community with the words and the music. We will be reminded of our humanity, our hopes, our dreams, our triumphs, our tragedies, and our community will be strengthened through the gifts they will share with us this evening. I know there was already a smattering of applause because we had them with us in February, and we were so excited to have you back with us this evening, so thank you.
Thank you.
And also joining us on the bima, we have Brendan Brady on percussion here behind us. Hopefully you can see him. And Joel Kelsley on bass. And we thank them for lifting our spirits even more with their music.
So you know us, you know lots of clergy in the room, you know some musicians, but you might not know the people around you. And if you take one thing away with you this evening, it should be a new name, a new friend, a new person that you get to call someone in community with. So if you could find someone that you don't know yet, wait for all the instructions. You're going to share your name, where you're from, and then a moment, because tonight and Juneteenth is all about liberation, all about freedom. Come on, guys. a moment that you felt free this week. A moment that you felt free this week.
I feel free now.
B-section of the Nigun at some point.
Yeah,
You got an amendment? Just the B section. Should we do the B section now?
Yeah.
All right, B.
Since they actually go up come back with the Nigun first. No, let's come back with the Nigun first, and then before we go to Matova. Yeah, let us bring him back first.
Music?
I know.
We did somehow omit someone, even with all of that. And so we want to also welcome Floyd Nelson and his daughter JoJo from St. Albans. We're so glad you all are here. And what a wonderful way to transition into our first prayer, thanking God that we're all here together in community.
Hey, y'all, we bring tidings from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's time to sing. So this song, Melvin's going to sing a verse, and then you just sing it back exactly the way that he sings it to you. You do your best gospel singing in approximation if you can. But really, this song was designed with the purpose of cultivating communal song. It's Hine Matov, Psalm 133, how good it is for brothers and sisters to come together in a spirit of peace and unity.
How good, how good, how good, how good it is to be together. Try with me. How good, how good, how good, beautiful. How good it is to be together. The second part is a little different. How good, how good, how good, how sweet and good it is to be together. Let's try it. How good, how good, how good, how sweet and good it is to be together. It's a simple thing for sure, a thing so good and pure, to be together. Try that with me. It's a simple thing for sure, a thing so good and pure, to be together. He made my toes. It's a blessing that we need, so let's gather now in peace and be together. It's a blessing that we need, so let's gather now in peace and be together. One more time with the Hine Matov. How good it is. Thank you.
We'll continue with one of our Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. We'll find the words of Romamu on page 17.
Sure.
So these first few songs, prayers that we sing are what we call Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of Shabbat. There's a series of psalms that comprise that section of our service. And this last one, sort of the bookmark, or I guess the end of the chapter and the beginning of the next one, is Lecha Dodi, which is an acrostic poem that welcomes the Sabbath queen, the Sabbath bride. So when we come to this prayer, we think of it in the way as though we're actually physically greeting Shabbat, in the way we would greet someone we love, someone perhaps we haven't seen in a long time, or in the case of Shabbat, an entire week. And we know that there are some weeks that feel like a long time, and we're eager and excited for that day of rest, for that moment to take a deep breath, which we all do together now. We let it out. We just keep doing that. It served us well up until now, and we continue to do that together. And as we join in these words of Lecha Dodi on page 20 in your prayer book, if you don't already have Mishkan Tefillah, the prayer book that's in front of you, it's the thinner of the two books. They open from right to left, because Hebrew is a language that is read from right to left, so the page numbers seem to go backwards. We're going to join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 together. And there's a tradition that when we get to the 9th verse, we'll rise together as a community. We turn and face the door as though Shabbat herself, as she's known in tradition, but Shabbat themselves, as Shabbat comes through the door, we welcome Shabbat into our hearts together, along with anyone who might happen to have gotten stuck in traffic. And they will feel welcomed and greeted by the smiles on our faces and the warmth and the joy with which we welcome Shabbat together. So, and then we'll remain standing after that last final verse as we go into our following prayers. Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha Dodi,
to worship on page 28, Baruch
We'll sing now the watchword of the faith of the Jewish people, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, to a melody that if you were here with us when we had the honor of visiting in February, you surely remember, and otherwise you've never heard before. So hopefully for those for whom the words are familiar, the melody will be easy to acquire. To those for whom the words are unfamiliar, perhaps the melody will help you connect with the words. Can we be seated for the Yishalom after?
Sure. Page 36.
You shall love Adonai your God. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. You shall love your God. Said these words, oh these words, oh these sweet, precious words. Set them on your heart.
In a moment, I'm going to invite my dear friend, Josh Maxey, to the Bema to share some reflections. But I want to tell you a little bit about Josh, although he's well known within our congregation and our community. Josh Maxey is a member of Washington Hebrew Congregation's inaugural Sea Change cohort. Sea Change meaning study, act, engage, study, engage, act, yes, I can spell, which is a program of Washington Hebrew Congregation and B'nai Israel Congregation working in conjunction with Join for Justice. And the original intent of this effort 3 years ago was to engage our communities in meaningful conversations, critical education, and collective action to address racial inequity internally and in the broader community. Subsequently, Josh took on the role of being co-chair of our internal audit committee at Washington Hebrew and shepherded the committee through an in-depth assessment of a number of sensitive and important issues. He demonstrated leadership and commitment. He initiated the creation of our Jews of Color Affinity Group. He developed and implemented the idea and dedicated time and energy to have conversations and learn what Jews of color in our DC community were seeking. And out of that, he spearheaded our first Juneteenth Shabbat observance last year. Josh has conveyed the importance for Jews of color to have leadership models within the synagogue and larger Jewish community and the impact of representation on true racial equity. And we here at Washington Hebrew have rejoiced and celebrated in all the ways that our community has embraced Josh, as he himself is fulfilling his own mission on both the local and national levels, as a member of the Commission on Social Action of the Reform Movement, as a board member of the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington, and most recently when he was installed on the board of directors of Washington Hebrew Congregation on this very Bema just last week. Josh has expressed that finding community and acceptance in Judaism through his experiences at Washington Hebrew Congregation has inspired him to create the same space for others. His passion is creating dialogue on how we create communities of belonging for everyone in our society. It may not be widely known that Josh moved to Washington to volunteer with the unhoused community. This opened his eyes to injustice and systems of oppression that disproportionately affect Black and brown communities. Josh has always been motivated towards social justice. His activism and his passion for justice are further ignited when he's able to base it in his religious beliefs and identities. And we here at Washington Hebrew Congregation, at Beit Mishpacha, where he has his day job, and throughout the community, everywhere that Josh goes, he infuses a sense of respect, a sense of love, and an understanding that we need to come together and get to know each other face to face, panim el panim, so that we can be in relationship with one another, to be able to lift each other up. And so it's my honor to invite Josh Maxey to share some reflections on this Juneteenth Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. And thank you, Rabbi Shankman, for that warm introduction. And I would also like to, now that I have the microphone, personally thank our clergy, team, our staff, and the entire Juneteenth Community Celebration Committee, which includes various synagogues and organizations, for all of our hard work to make every event that we have planned or will participate in to run smoothly in keeping with the spirit of this holiday. When I began my remarks last year, many of you may remember that I mentioned that one of the purposes of having this Juneteenth program is to bring our community together. This year, as Rabbi Shankman mentioned, we are grateful that we have over 15 synagogues and organizations and nearly 30 individuals who signed on as this year's as sponsors or supporters for the entire series of events. I invite us all after services to take a look at that list, which is in your program, and also take a look at the remaining programs that we have for this coming weekend, including a church service on Sunday at John Wesley AME Church, and we will be joining Scotland AME Zion Church on Monday for their Juneteenth celebrations. Juneteenth is truly about community, and how we come together to move our society from the bonds of slavery to freedom. During this season, I always become a bit more reflective on the idea of what it means to be free in our society. Personally, as a gay Black man, I have the entire month of June to ponder this. From celebrations of pride and LGBTQ plus equality to Juneteenth and how my identity as a Black Jewish man is equally threatened by both racism and anti-Semitism. To be honest with you all, this can be very overwhelming. And at times, it is very easy for me, at least, to become a little pessimistic and struggle to see the light at the end of the tunnel that leads to justice and equity. And I know that many of us in this room today carry multiple identities and intersectionality and may be able to relate. But this is where and when I pick up a copy of this book. For those of you who can't see it, it is March, which was given to me several years ago by the late civil rights icon, John Lewis. This book tells the story of his nearly 50-year journey in public life fighting for equality. When he gave me this book a few years ago, we were in a time where civil discourse was becoming increasingly and more polarized, and it was really hard to have deep and meaningful conversations. And then the fabric of our society was beginning to be torn apart. But it's the simple words that he inscribed to me in this book after an hours-long conversation about the state of our society and the importance of the next generation on taking on the mantle of leadership. He simply wrote, "Josh, keep the faith. Keep the faith." Is that not an important message that we need today? Especially when we know that there are still constant threats to our freedoms, when we are facing an alarming rise in anti-Semitism, racism, xenophobia, homophobia, and the list goes on and on. In this week's Torah portion, we also hear about two individuals who kept the faith, Caleb and Joshua. Caleb and Joshua were two of the 12 spies that Moses sent to the land of Canaan to check out this land that God had promised them. When the spies returned home 40 days later, they bore the fruits of the land and testified that, in fact, that land was flowing with milk and honey. 10 of the spies, however, were reluctant because they saw giants in the land, and they saw a city with massive fortresses. They were worried that they would be overpowered if they were to go into the land that God had promised them. The rest of the crowd agreed with them, and they told Moses they did not want to go. But Caleb and Joshua were the only ones who kept the faith, remained positive about the land. God then became furious with the people and threatened to kill them, but it was Moses who pleaded on behalf of the community. God eventually spared everyone, but only promised that Caleb and Joshua would enter into the promised land. I often wonder, if the entire community had kept the faith, what would have been the end result? Now, I'm not a rabbi nor a cantor, so I will leave that to our distinguished clergy to dissect and think about. I'm also reminded in this Torah portion that it is not my sole responsibility to keep the faith and to keep my eye on the light at the end of the tunnel, which will lead to justice and equality, but it is the responsibility of the collective, all of us gathered here today, whether it be in this sanctuary or on Zoom. We must work together to build bridges and strengthen our relationships. We must work together to form sacred partnerships. These sacred partnerships should not begin and end with the clergy of our respective communities, but I challenge all of us who are the laity to get to know our neighbors. Let us walk into a mosque, a synagogue, a church, or any other house of worship that may not be familiar to us more often. And not just on special occasions such as this or in moments of tragedy, but let us strive 365 days a year to work together to fight oppression and the forces of hate, the forces of ignorance that seek one goal, which is to divide us all. Juneteenth is a reminder that the fight for freedom and equality is ongoing. We must fight to continue to work together to ensure that all people are treated with dignity and respect. Before I take my seat, I wanted to highlight and paraphrase a few lines written by our musical guests tonight, Lapidus and Miles. They have a song called Praying with Our Feet, which is one of my favorite. The words simply say, step by step, mile by mile. We are not there yet. It's going to take a while. The path of justice is not complete. But, and this is what I add, hand in hand, arm in arm, when we march together, not just one of us, not two of us, but all of us together, we march strong. As we celebrate this Juneteenth weekend, let us renew our call to form and strengthen our sacred partnerships with each other, and together, let us work towards a future where all people are free, all people are equal, and all people are created in the image of God, as we read in Genesis, and are treated with dignity and respect. Shabbat shalom.
Step by step, mile by mile, we're not there yet, it's gonna take a while. Block by block, street by street, the path of justice is not complete. Hill by hill, shadows fall, light will prevail. Through pain and tears, through rain and snow, to the mountain top we go. We'll be
As Josh so eloquently stated and eloquently states every day, that is an honor of working with him and being in community with him. We have a lot of work to do. And we can't do any of that work if we don't care for ourselves. And thank God our tradition puts into our week a whole day of caring for ourselves, a whole day of, as it says on page 44 in Vishamru, a day of Shabbat vayinafash, a day of rest and renewal. That word vayinafash coming from the word of your soul, a day of renewing our soul. And so we say these words, Vishamru v'nei Israel, we take a deep breath and we think about how do we need to renew our soul this evening so that tomorrow we can go out and do this sacred work of justice, this sacred work of building community, this sacred work of seeing a world which we know can be so. Page 44.
Turning to page 46 for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. It's a tradition here at Washington Hebrew that we take a moment during our Shabbat service to share in our joys, to share a simcha. And this evening we have an abbreviated time for smachot, for simchas. So if you have a pretty good one, pressure is on. We're going to take like 2 or 3 joys that you've had from last Shabbat till now, or the last time you were at Washington Hebrew until now. We might be doing the one that you're about to say. Is it the same one? You have 2? Do the other one. David Bortnick, everyone. That's so right. Amazing. For amazing trips and for life-changing moments. I should have said what the ritual is. We say when we hear a joy, we say modim anachnu lach, which means we are grateful, because when one of us has a joy, all of us can feel that joy. That's what's being in community. And so for life-changing moments and for a wonderful summer, we say modim anachnu lach. Anyone else? Yeah, Jaylee in the back, excuse me. Family in town, that's right, welcome. If you have some family in town, how wonderful to be able to reconnect. We say, Modim Anachnu Lach. One more. Over there.
Tomorrow, our son, our 25-year-old son, is receiving a first-place award for Teacher Story from the White House Press Club.
Oh my goodness. What a blessing. For wonderful awards, but all more so for like real nachas about our children. We say, Modim Anachnu Lach. And I know there's so many more, but also we have some wonderful people who are born in the month of June. And so if you are born in the month of June, including Linda Adler, Cantor Susan Bortnick, Celie Moore, who's having quite the weekend, and Lynn Oren, I'm going to ask you to come on up here for a special simcha, a special birthday blessing. And anyone else who has a birthday in June, join us as well. We also know that Emily Kishter is joining us virtually. Happy birthday to you, Emily. But if you have a birthday in June, come on up and stand right here in the middle with Cantor. Oh, no. You're just on Juneteenth. Watch the wires. Watch everything. Oh, what a crew we have today. Look at this.
Look at all these birthdays.
Amazing. Why not? I'm going to come down here, and you guys come on up. Perfect. Come on, there's room. Please push this way. Oh, how lovely. What a birthday.
Your June birthday too?
For all of you wonderful people who are up here, we are so grateful that you have been born at all, and also in the month of June. And so are you, good. And so I offer this blessing on behalf of Washington Hebrew, on behalf of the Jewish community, on behalf of all those here who love and respect you, which is Mishaberach Avotenu Vimotenu, blessed one who has blessed our ancestors. May you bless these dear ones who, like Joshua and Caleb, keep the faith, who grace us with their community, with their light and their love, each and every day as part of this Washington Hebrew community, as part of this faith community, as part of this DMV community. And may you continue to bring that faith and love with you wherever you go. And particularly, it's not often that I get to bless our senior cantor of the congregation, so you're going to give me this pleasure of a particular blessing to Cantor Susan Bortnick for the voice that you bring to this congregation, for your truth, for your love, particularly for me, for your friendship and for your humor. You are such a blessing to our congregation. May God bless each of you in this year to come, and may it be a year of joy and excitement and all things new and wonderful. And so we join together in a blessing other cantor, Suzanne Hamstra, of thanking God for allowing us to reach this moment where we can bless all of you for your birthdays in June. We join together in Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, sustained us, and allowed us to reach this moment to celebrate each of you. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday.
And we continue our evening of blessings as we ask God to rain down the blessing of peace upon us on page 60. Shalom Rav, a great peace rain down upon each of us in our community.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
This joyous moment and holiday when we affirm the Jewish notion that we're all created b'tselem Elohim and that we deserve to be free from bondage. But it's equally important for us to remember that the fight for true equality is ongoing. And as the Jewish poet Emma Lazarus wrote, and words that echo what Josh shared as well, until we are all free, we are none of us free. And I'm reminded of the well-known teaching of Rabbi Tarfon, also echoed in the words that Josh, my Rabbi Josh, shared with us. We have multiple clergy up here. We can make it happen. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. You are not required to finish the task, but neither are you free to desist from it. And that task, we're all obligated to help complete that work. But that task, at times, we know feels impossible. It feels daunting. We just look at our Torah portion. Also, I'm not going to replay all that has been shared. But the idea that the people of the land were too many, and they were too mighty, they were too strong, and we were like grasshoppers, that the land itself devoured its inhabitants. And we keep in mind those words of Joshua and Caleb. They saw the same details that everyone else saw. They recognized the reality in front of them, but they also saw that there was a vision, a reality of a land flowing with milk and honey. And that to them was much more appealing than the insurmountable or seemingly insurmountable challenges. So we know that the path ahead may be challenging, And we also know that when we stand together, we can overcome. And that same truth is, that same story is true for us today. It's Torah imitating life, life imitating Torah, and those values, those lessons. We are sacred partners, and we have a responsibility as faith communities to be engaged in justice work, to be engaged in the work of ensuring equity for everyone. And so as we take a moment to reflect, we're going to pause and turn from our fixed liturgy. I'm going to invite us to take a moment to reflect on how we might each join this sacred task. And as we do so, I offer this Juneteenth prayer by Rabbi Sharon Bar Skolnick and Hillel Skolnick. Our God, compassionate Redeemer, emancipator, liberator of the oppressed, downtrodden, and enslaved, you heard our ancestors' cries as slaves in Egypt, freed us from harsh labors with an outstretched arm, delivered us from bondage, took us to be your people, and brought us to our promised land. You heard the cries of black slaves in this country, freed them officially on not this day, but this day in 3 days, with an outstretched arm. May you continue to deliver us from the bondage of injustice, take us to be your people, treated by all with love and equity, and bring us to a moment when this land fulfills its promises. Ever listening, attentive one, hear us now. The journey has been long, the steps arduous and ongoing, but we celebrate freedom this day with love, memory, honor, resolve to be a force for positive change, and fervent hope for freedoms still yet to be realized. As you have shown us compassion, help us to be compassionate. As you have liberated us, help us stand up against injustice everywhere. As you have delivered us, help us fight for freedom for all still enslaved. Remember us, hear us, and be with us always. And let us say together, Amen. We take a moment to turn from the liturgy on the pages of our prayer book to the prayers that are inscribed on the pages of our hearts.
To all those prayers, we say amen. We're going to share a song that we haven't had a chance to share before. It's called America, and we feel that it's in the spirit of this Juneteenth season and celebration, but we'd welcome your reactions if we have a chance to visit after the service.
I've been traveling down this road. Where I'm going, I just don't know. But when I get there, I think I'll call it home. I've been searching high and low. What I'm seeking, just don't know. But when I find it, I think I'll hold it dear. America, America, my country 'tis of thee. America, oh America, when will you set me free? I've been thinking from dusk till dawn, but in the morning my thoughts are gone, and I'm left wondering, was it just a dream? Now I'm asking everyone I meet, ain't it something, ain't it me, like a breeze in the summer, America, my country, 'tis of thee. America, oh America, when will you set me free? I've been looking all around, I've been listening for the sound. There's a song out there, I couldn't be more sure. I've been running all these years, I've been singing from my heart. My words may stumble, but my aim is true. America, oh America, my country, 'tis of thee. America, America, when will you set me free? Read the headlines and watch the news, scratch my head and get confused. Seems like a mess out there, there is so much to lose. So won't you join me on this road? Let's share the burden and bear the load. That endless highway is called America. That endless highway is called America. America. America, America, my country, 'tis of thee. America, America, sweet land of liberty, sweet land of liberty. America, 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 God shed his grace on thee, grace on thee. America, America, when will you set me free? When will you set me? When will you set me? When will you set us free? When will you set us free? One more time. When will you set us free? Beautiful.
When Moses discovers that his sister Miriam is sick, he yells out, El Narafan, please, God, please, may you heal her. And we take a minute now in community to pray for our country, to pray for our joys and our birthdays, but also to pray for those in our community who are in need of healing, whether that's healing of body, mind, or spirit. And so if you have a name to share right now with our community, I'll ask that you just share it out loud so that in like one chorus, a chorus of names of those who are in need of healing so that those names can be lifted up. So you can share that name at this moment. We hold all of those names in our heart. El Narafan Allah.
Ela
We are delighted this evening to welcome Dr. B.J. Douglas, who is the Senior Project Officer of the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Dr. Douglas is a relative of Frederick Douglass through marriage. Her husband, here with her, is Frederick Douglass IV and is the great-great-grandson of Frederick Douglass. Coincidentally, I was just at the National Portrait Gallery this morning where the exhibit One Life, Frederick Douglass just opened today, so you can be sure to go there over the next couple of months. There's this wonderful exhibit at the Portrait Gallery. But we are grateful to Dr. Douglas for her presence this evening and invite her to share a few words of greeting on behalf of the administration.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I am so honored to stand here today on this special day, especially to be with this wonderful Rabbi Josh, and to stand on this stage with the first woman rabbi in your 107th year history. It is truly my honor. It is truly my honor. I am here today to represent the Department of Housing and Urban Development that I've served for better than 30 years. But I want to say that my honor is with you today because of the gifts that President Joseph Biden brought us to housing and urban development in the spirit and the way of Secretary Marcia Fudge and Deputy Secretary Todman. We feel so gifted and so happy to be a part of this administration because of the sophistication and the brilliance that President Biden gifted us with. I've been with the agency for 30 years. I've seen the ups and I've seen the downs. And I want you to know how blessed we are this day. We have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. I am very honored that our leaders are steadfast and unmovable, understand the power of community impact, understand that faith is everything. Faith is everything. Because when you have faith, it doesn't matter how strong the wind, the storm, or the rain. The tree may bend, but it will never break. Yeah. It is powerful to be in the midst of this greatness and to feel the joy of the people here today. All I want to say is let's keep it going. Let's finish what we've started here. I wish that I could walk every step with Secretary Fudge. I wish she could stay around for a long time with Deputy Secretary Todman. We have trodden a heavy road at our agency, but we made it through. And now everything is better. I thank you all so much for having us today, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I thank you for allowing me the honor to stand here with the first woman. That you have no idea how excited that made me when I realized that I would have this honor. I also want to say, you introduced my husband. Mr. Frederick Douglass IV, yes, he is the relation, the great-great-grandson, but we like to keep that without saying it because sometimes the wind and the storm comes against you when you, for no reason, but his bloodline, it's tough, you all. You don't understand. But I just want to put that out there. So if the wind and the storm comes against him just because of a few words, understand that the tree will bend but never ever break.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Washington Hebrew congregation. Thank you, President Joseph Robinette Biden, who's doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Marcia Fudge. Thank you. I hope that you can, if you need our faith-based and community, faith-based and neighborhood partnerships office, we are ready to partner with you because housing, training, technical assistance, and everything that goes along with HUD, we want to bring it to you. Thank you very much.
So this next song that we're going to do is called I Am. The word says, whether you see me or not, whether you believe in me or not, whether you love me or not, I am. Regardless of what anyone else says or what anyone thinks of you, you are a human being. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. I am.
Pride Month.
Oh, yeah, and in honor of Pride Month. Whether you see me or not, whether you believe in me or not, whether you love me or not, I am. Whether you stand with me or not, whether you embrace me or not, whether you see me or not, I am. Clothed in dignity, I am. Bathed in love, I am. I am a prayer, I am a prayer, I am. I am a blessing, I am a prayer, I am. Down this road I walk, sometimes alone I walk, sometimes with you I walk, but I am. To the horizon I walk, the sun is rising while I walk, head held high as I walk, 'cause I am. Clothed in dignity, I am. Bathed in love, I am. I am a prayer, I am a prayer, I am. I am a blessing, I am a prayer, I am. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. I am.
We rise as we turn to the Ark for Elenu.
There will come a day we shall live and find. Oh, come a day together as one. There will come a day. Oh, come a day, we shall all be one. On that day, will you join me on that day? On that day, stand beside me on that day. 'Cause we will laugh and we will sing. We will dance and we will sing. On that day, won't you join me on that day? On that day, stand beside me on that day. 'Cause we will laugh, yes, we will smile. We will know peace a little while. On that day, 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 may we live to see that day. May we live to see that day. May we work to see that day. May we live to see that day. May we live to see that day. Arise.
As we think about that day, we think about the world as it could be. We also think of those who inspired us with their lives, with their love. And so at this time, we pause for a moment of memory as we think of those whose yard site falls at this time, the anniversary of their death, and whose memories continue to light our way. We think of Flora Barron, Abraham Bennison, Jane Bensinger, Morris Berger, David Blatt, Abraham Bress, Hyman Bronrot, Morris Kafritz, Miriam Cantor, Harvey Turner, Simon Koblenzer, Esther Cohen, Honey Cohen, Edward Cowan, Andre Drzavis, Lillian Drzavis, Julius Diamond, Adolf Dissen, Erwin Dreisenstock, Elizabeth Dulkin, Joseph Zwankowski, Florence Duncan Feldman, Camille Fellheimer, Eva Figler, Albert Fogel, Helene Gishner, Herbert Glassman, Peter Goldman, Sylvia Goldman, Michael Lewis Goldstein, Frank Gordon, Gerald Greenwald, Benjamin Greller, William Hahn, Fanny Heidenheimer, Babette Herman, Sheldon Himmelfarb, Saul Horwath, Joseph Jabbis, George Jacobson, Herman Katz, Aaron Kaufman, Bennett Kaufman, Grace King Kaufman, Ray Needle Kaufman, Greg S. Kidan, Jane Kent, Jeffrey Kligman, Howard Kuzel, Ann Leibowitz, Jack Levin, Edna Ida Levin, Robert Levine, Sarah Levy, Hannah Lowbred, Nathan Mandel, Harry Mason, Amy Miller, Milton Nass, Benjamin Neuwirth, Alvin Newmeyer, Adele Orleans, Morris Oshinsky, Jerome Perlman, George Polanski, Vivian Rabineau, Karen Ribler, Adele Roberts, Hubert Schlossberg, Fred Rosenthal, David Paul Sandy, Egan Schick, Ann Richard Schiffman, Dora Schiffman, Meyer Schofer, Beatrice Schwartz, Jane Ruth Sellinger, David Selker, Sarah Selsky, Elizabeth Shapiro, Emmanuel Schulman, Louis Siegel, Robert Siegel, Joan Spencer, Stephen Stark, Natalie Stein, Ruth Stein, Moses Steinberg, Richard Stern, Jacob Albert Weinberg, Siegfried Weiss, Mark Lewis Wolf, and Dr. Jean F. Spiegel. And we add to their names the names of those recently laid to rest: Joseph Enet, Leslie Mostow, Harvey Pitt, Alan Derish, Stanley Baumstein, Beatrice Beatty Bass, Stephen Immergut, Florine Berry, Susan N. Horn, Bertrand Herman Weedberg, Lois Cahotis, Barbara Jacobs, and Irving Mises. We invite you, if there's a name that either was omitted or that I inadvertently mispronounced, we invite you to add any other additional names at this time. We think of all those who lost their lives in the fight for freedom and whose memories continue to bless us. And with all of these names in our hearts, calling others to mind as well, we rise together and we turn to page 294. And we join together in Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei Rabbah, Yalma divrach ruznei v'yamlich malchusei, v'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beis Yisrael, Ba'agala vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach leolam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yizba'ar v'yizromam v'yiznaseh. V'yizadar v'yizhalev v'yizhalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol berchasa v'shirasa. Tush b'chasa v'nechemasa. Ta'amiram b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say together, amen. Please be seated. And at this time, it's my honor to invite Jennifer Berzak, a member of our board of directors, who is going to present our Kiddush cup to our B'nai Mitzvah of the Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Jennifer Berzak, member of the board. We have some wonderful opportunities to engage with WHC and the community in these next few weeks. Celebrate Juneteenth with John Wesley AME Zion Church, June 18th. Juneteenth Heritage Festival with Scotland AME Zion Church, June 19th. Register for our next deep dive cohort focusing on grief and Judaism every Wednesday night in July. Please take a copy of this week with you and use the QR code for more information or visit our website. Every Shabbat, we increase our joy by reciting Kiddush. This is a moment when we remember the miracle of the Exodus and celebrate our freedom. At Washington Hebrew Congregation, we also use this moment in our service to remember Cammie Lauren Nathanson and the power each person has to make an impact in our community and to change the world for the better. As we celebrate the milestone of our B'nai Mitzvah students, Lucas Venner, Mari Moore, and Maya Stein, we invite them to the Bima along with all children who are present tonight, to come forward and lead us in the Kiddush. May the vision of these young people give us strength, pride, and hope in a brighter future.
Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Voker, Yom Hashishi. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri chagafen.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mkadesh ha Shabbat.
Amen. And as we have recited the entire Kiddush, we'll just sing the first line together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
And to accompany the Kiddush, we invite the Bortnick girls, Cantor Bortnick's daughters, with a very special challah for a very special birthday girl. And so thank you to Nomi and Elia and Mickey.
Bring Mickey Condor. Oh, there's sprinkles. Oh, I love sprinkles. Go ahead, start. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. So we're going to give that to Cam.
And we are going to take an opportunity with our children up on the stage, with our next generation up on our bima, to bless this future of our community of faith, with these holy words of blessing. Everyone can fit under it, I think. Come on over, come on over.
Naomi, can you get that set? So we ask God's blessing upon all of you. Here we go. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechuneka. May God shine divine light upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. May God shine divine presence upon you, and may God grant you the greatest blessing of all, of wholeness and of peace.
Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful. Shabbat Shalom. And we are going to sing one more song so you guys can make your way back to your seats. And we will be able to dig into that challah with the sprinkles very soon.
That's your cup, so you can. And we invite you to join us for some more friendship and fellowship following the conclusion of our service. We invite everyone to please rise as we lift our voices one more time. Everyone together, we lift every voice and sing.
Lift every voice.
Shabbat Shalom.